Good morning, I'm Annie Larkin, the Associate Curator of Public Programs at the Amerind Museum, and welcome to our chocolate cooking class with Chef Angie. Thank you to our members and donors, particularly the donors who made this specific program possible. With your kind assistance, Amerind is not only able to provide programming, but it is able to fulfill its mission through promoting the knowledge and understanding of the Native peoples of the Americas through research, education, conservation, and community engagement. To learn how you can assist Amerind in supporting its mission by becoming a member or donor, please visit amerind.org. On February 20th at 11 a.m., Amerind will host a free online talk, Far From Isolated, Resilience and Adaptation Among the Raramuri in the 20th Century, with Jose Miguel Chavez Leva. He is a PhD candidate in Borderlands history at the University of Texas at El Paso. Please visit our website, amerind.org, or the events section of Amerind's Facebook page for registration details. Then on March 6th, Amerind is hosting the inaugural Texas Canyon Mountain Bike Fun Ride. Participants will be able to experience the beauty of Texas Canyon in this 7.8-mile course that is normally closed to the public while maintaining a safe social distance. Please visit Amerind's website, amerind.org, or again, the events section of Amerind's Facebook page for registration details. I do have a few notes about today's program. First, the recipes from Angie's Delicious Dishes will be sent out via email to all of our program registrants, along with a link to the video of the class. We anticipate the email reaching your inbox within 5 hours of the program's completion. Also, Angie will be cooking in real time today. So there will be some moments in the program when Angie will be stirring and microwaving and blending. And so this will enable participants who want to cook along with Angie to do so in real time. All right. So Angie Adams began her relationship with Amerind's Kitchen by taking cooking classes. She would soon begin putting on her apron daily, working under Amerind chef, Debbie Mechigian. For over 7 years, Angie's culinary creations have brought smiles to the faces of Amerind's guests. Taking on the role of Amerind's chef in 2020, Angie looks forward to expanding the accessibility of her cooking classes beyond the walls of Amerind's Kitchen to the museum's online audience. All right, and so with that, I will pass it over to Chef Angie.
Thank you, Annie. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Amerind Kitchen. My name is Angie Adams, and this is my assistant, Mary Wise.
Morning.
Today, we're going to make 5 dishes using chocolate. We're going to do a savory chocolate barbecue chicken, a Coco Chipotle salsa, a hot chocolate pudding with chiltepines, a chocolate-filled bread braid, and finally, a tossed salad with chocolate vinaigrette. The chocolate I'm using is the Beedry dark chocolate that we sell in the store. I don't know which camera. Let's see if that one. It's the Beedry dark chocolate, and we sell that in the Amerind store. Really good chocolate. So, okay, let's get started. So what we're going to start with is the savory chocolate barbecue chicken. And what I have here is chicken thighs. And I really like to use the thighs because they have a lot more flavor and they tend to stay juicier when you cook them. So what you want to do is you're going to take your vegetable oil. You just want to put it all over the chicken. Then you're going to get salt and pepper. Salt it real good. And pepper. You can see it's just salt and pepper. Nice and covered. And then what you want to do is stick it in a 375-degree oven for about 15 minutes. So while that's cooking, we're going to start our barbecue sauce. What you're going to do is you want to take your butter And you're going to melt that. Thank you. Get your butter melted, and you're going to saute your garlic for about a minute until it gets nice and fragrant. This is a real easy sauce to make. So you get that in there, and you've got your melted butter with your garlic. So you just kind of get that till it's melted, and then saute it for about a minute. You can start to smell it as it cooks. So it smells really good. Okay, once you've got that sauteed, you're going to add all your other ingredients. So you're going to add your brown sugar, your coffee, your cayenne pepper, your honey, your cider vinegar, your cocoa powder, your Worcestershire sauce, your onion powder, your dry mustard, your chili powder, and your smoked paprika. Then you're going to add your tomato sauce. Get all that in there. Then you're going to stir all that up. You're going to put it back on the stove. Then you want to heat it right about to a boil and let it simmer so it reduces down a little bit. You kind of see that beautiful color. And it starts to get thicker. And it smells amazing. So you just keep that on the heat and stir it so it doesn't burn on the bottom. You can see how when it heats up, it starts to get real nice, thick paste like. Just break up the sugar pieces. So after that's done, what you want to do is just set it aside until your chicken's done. Oh, forgot to add the chocolate. Sorry, forgot to add the chocolate. After you heat it up, then you add the chocolate and you stir it till it melts. There we go. So there you go. Now you can see it with the chocolate in there. It's all melted. So now we'll set it aside and wait for the chicken to be done. Next, we're going to do the Coco Chipotle salsa. This is a super simple salsa. I made it for my family and they absolutely loved it. So what you're gonna do is I have about 2 pounds of Roma tomatoes. You're gonna put them in the blender. You could also use a food processor. So put your tomatoes in there. And then I have a chopped white onion. Then I have 1 jalapeno. Now, when you get your jalapenos and you cut them, I would recommend wearing a glove because after you touch the jalapeno, you touch your face, you're gonna burn yourself. So I recommend using a glove whenever dealing with any kind of peppers. And you can seed them and stem them. If the more seeds you leave in, the hotter it's gonna be. So it just depends on your heat level, what you like. So, and then we're gonna add our salt, our cocoa powder, and our chipotles. And garlic. And put the top on this and mix it until it's all blended. If you want a more smooth salsa, you can grind it more. Or if you want a thicker salsa, you don't have to grind it as much.
Hi, Angie, this is Eric, and I'm monitoring the questions that are coming in. Can I give you a couple questions?
Sure.
The first question is from Leslie, and she's asking, can other tomatoes be used in this recipe?
Yes, yes, other tomatoes can be used in the recipe.
And then she wanted to know, did you chop the garlic before adding it to the blender or just peel them and add them whole?
You can add them whole. I had chopped them and had them in with the onion.
And then she asked, did you shave down the chocolate bar? She couldn't see that step.
It was actually chocolate powder.
Oh,
Cocoa
chocolate
powder?
powder, cocoa powder.
Yes,
All right.
it was cocoa powder.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, so see that beautiful color? Everything chopped up. Beautiful.
Okay, and Angie, there's a question from Linda. What's the name of the chocolate and where can we buy it?
The chocolate bar that I used for the barbecue sauce is the Beedry chocolate, and we actually sell it in the Amerind store. The cocoa powder I'm using is a Hershey's cocoa powder, which you can find in any supermarket.
Okay.
So here we have our salsa and a nice chips and salsa you can munch on while your chicken's cooking. And next we're gonna do the hot chocolate pudding with the chiltepines. So you want a heavy saucepan. And you're gonna put your dry ingredients first. So you're gonna put your sugar and your cocoa powder. And then your salt and your cornstarch. What you want to do is just kind of give those a good whisk around. And you want to break up any chunks of chocolate so you get that smooth finish at the end. Kind of break that up a little bit. Once you get that all mixed, you're going to add your milk. And your 3 egg yolks. So you're going to get those in there and you want to mix it until it's nice and smooth. All that mixed together. And this is a super simple dessert recipe. Whenever I'm in a pinch and I really need something, chocolate pudding, way to go. My daughter Desiree, every time I make it, she eats the whole pan. You get it all mixed up, it almost resembles chocolate milk. And then you want to put it over to the heat. And then you're just going to heat it up and stir it so it doesn't burn on the bottom. Mary, you want to stir this for me? Usually takes around 10 minutes. So while she's doing that, we'll actually get some things ready for the next recipe. And we're going to do the chocolate filled braid. And for this, we're going to use our KitchenAid mixer. I love this thing. It cuts your work in half. I can plug it in. There. This bread recipe is a really easy dough. It's really forgiving, really easy to work with, very little rest time, and you can with pie filling, fruit, like a cherry pie filling, raspberry pie filling. It's really easy to work with and it tastes really good. I actually did this last year for the chocolate class and everybody really had fun doing it. So we're gonna make that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with the chocolate sauce that goes in the middle, the filling. And what I'm gonna use is 2 cups of chocolate chips in my seat. And then 2/3 cup of evaporated milk. And then my sugar. Now you can add nuts if you'd like. I'm not adding nuts this time. And then you want to add your vanilla and your ground cinnamon. So you've got everything in your saucepan. And you're just going to stir that up and put it on the stove until it melts and is nice and smooth. How's that doing? Is it boiling? Okay. Yeah, show them what it looks like. So there's the pudding. You can see how thick, how it's starting to get thicker. And the more it cools, the thicker it'll get. So now I'll trade you. Once the pudding is melted or boiling, boil it for 3 minutes. And then you want to stir in your chiltepines and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then you mix that together. And you can either pour it into one big bowl or you can put it in pretty glasses. Good to go. Okay, now you stir this chocolate. So you can see how good that looks. So now you can pour it into your glasses. And this makes enough for about 2 generous servings or maybe 3 small ones. What you want to do is, now if you want to store this, you can put plastic on the top and that helps keep that film from getting layered on the top. Just stick it right on top of the pudding. Just like that. And you can eat it warm. Some people like to eat warm pudding or chill it in the fridge for probably at least 4 hours. And there's your pudding. So now we're working on the filling for the chocolate braid. It's getting nice and melted and smooth. Get all those chips melted. Looking good.
Looking good.
So while she's doing that, we'll get this together. Microwave the milk. All right. They're almost completely melted. Can you see how it's getting melted? A few more little chips in there. So you're gonna set that aside while you make your dough. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put 4 cups of flour into your mixer. Your sugar. Your yeast. And your salt. And then you're gonna take your milk, your cup of milk, your half a cup of water, and your 2 sticks of butter. And you want them a little warmer than room temperature. So usually about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the microwave, just enough to where the butter starts to melt. And what you're gonna do is add that to your flour mixture. It's almost ready.
Hey, Angie, we had a question from Linda. Can almond milk substitute for the milk you're using in different recipes?
I haven't tried it, but I wouldn't see why not. I think it would work. That'd be something to try.
Thank you.
So you have your milk and your butter, and you're gonna put it in with your dry ingredients. And then you wanna mix this for about 30 seconds. So then you're gonna add your eggs. So after about 30 seconds, you just wanna stir it around. Kind of show you what it's starting to look like. That's what it looks like after about 30 seconds. And then what you want to do is put it on for about 3 minutes and add your remaining 2 cups of flour. Last time I made this, My husband, Willie, and my daughter, Desiree, said that they tasted like chocolate cinnamon rolls. So it's actually kind of a treat, especially if you love chocolate. And we're going to start adding a little more flour. Let's do a little at a time, otherwise it gets in your face. Just so you guys can see how it's coming together. It's starting to get a dough-like appearance. And just keep mixing. See it again, starting to get that dough, that really dough shape. So you're at this point, you're about halfway there. Shakes it dough. A little bit more. Let's just finishing up. You want to sprinkle a little flour on your work surface.
Angie, we had a question.
Sure.
How did you decide when you were adding more flour in the different steps of adding the flour? What were you looking for?
Well, when you see the dough and it starts to pull away, that's when it's done. When you're feeling it and you can still feel a little moisture, then that means it's still a little too wet. And so you add more flour.
Thanks, Angie.
Welcome. So this is what it looks like when it's done. And you get those smooth surfaces. Looks really nice. So then what you want to do is you're going to put it out on your floured work surface. Then you just want to kind of knead it a little bit. And then you get that nice, smooth, round look. And then what you want to do is you're going to cover this. A piece of plastic, please. And just let it rest for 10 minutes. That's all you need to let it rest for, is about 10 minutes. Thank you, Mary. I'll just put a piece of plastic over that and let it rest. So then what we're going to do while that's resting is we're going to make the icing that we put on it. So here I have some powdered sugar. And I'm going to add, will you get me 2 tablespoons of melted butter? I'm going to add a little bit of milk. And about a teaspoon of vanilla. And you're just going to mix this around. And this is also the icing recipe we use for the Amerind cinnamon rolls. It's real simple. Powdered sugar, milk, vanilla, and some melted butter. Now, if you like, you could also add cream cheese. Just soften the cream cheese a little bit, and then add your powdered sugar to the cheese. Now, what you want to get is the consistency of like pancake batter. So right now you can see this is really too thick, but once we add the melted butter, then we can see where we are. And then you could always add more milk if it's too thick. And if it's too thin, then you just add more powdered sugar. Thank you. So add our butter. A little more milk. And you can see it coming together to make an icing. Just keep stirring that. See how nice that looks? And then just like that, and then you sprinkle on your dessert. So there's your icing. We'll set that aside. And now we're going to make the bread. So what we're going to do, Mary's going to help me here. So I'm going to give her half of it. Put a little more flour if you need. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll it into a rectangle. Now,
Angie said this dough is really easy.
you can do like 18 by 10 inches, which is basically the size of a cookie sheet. So what you're doing is just making the size of the cookie sheet so you have one long braided bread. You can also cut the dough into smaller portions and you can make other designs. You know, a wreath, maybe a heart for Valentine's Day. Just adjust your cooking times if you're going to make smaller breads. Get that nice and rolled out. You can do anywhere from about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thickness. If you want a thicker bread, leave your dough thicker. If you want nice and thin, then roll it out thinner. And then again, just adjust your cooking times. Okay, I think we're looking good. All right, so as soon as you have your rectangle, you're going to take that yummy chocolate sauce you made. You're just going to paint a line right down the middle.
Don't be shy.
There, looks beautiful.
Fill mine right up. Okay,
Once you got your chocolate in there,
lots of chocolate.
you're going to take a knife and you're going to make about 1-inch slits on each side. Kind of at a diagonal angle. And then what you want to do is you're just going to braid it. So you're going to fold over one side and then the other, and then just keep going all the way down. And then just kind of fold it over. Tuck in any extra edges on the side. Now Mary's going to make a wreath. But you get a cookie sheet and you can line it with foil or parchment paper. You just lift your bread onto the sheet. Okay.
Might need help with your wreath.
There you go. There's the wreath. And then there's the braid. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these in a 375-degree oven. Between 20 and 35 minutes, depending on the thickness of your bread. I usually like to check it about 20 minutes. When you see that top getting nice and golden brown, then you'll know it's done. Next, we're going to do the tossed salad with the vinaigrette. And this is a real easy recipe too. First, we're going to check the chicken. Give me something to dump the fat in. So there's your chicken. It's nice and good. So then what you want to do after about 50 minutes, pull the chicken out, and then you want to drain that fat. Not all of it, but you don't want it swimming in there with the barbecue sauce. So then take your barbecue sauce that you made earlier. And you're just going to slap it on the chicken. Nice, generous amount.
So Angie, while you're doing that, I had a couple questions. First, the mole sauce that you're putting on the, the sauce that you're putting on the chicken, the barbecue sauce. Would you say that's similar to a mole sauce or not?
It is similar. It is similar. It doesn't have the cooking all day. It's kind of a cheat mole sauce.
Okay. And then Karen would like to know, can she make the sauce ahead and freeze it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then Debbie Mechigian had a question about the braided bread. So was there time to let it rise before it goes in the oven, or does it just go straight into the oven?
You do let it rest for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then put it in the oven.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get all all that nice barbecue sauce right on the chicken. And then you want to put it back in the oven for about 10 minutes so you get that nice caramelization. So while that's going, we're going to make our salad dressing. So this again, I'm going to use the blender, and I have one of the small attachments that has the blade in it. Will you melt that for me? So basically what you're going to do here is you're going to melt your chocolate. And you're going to put your olive oil and your red wine vinegar. And then the melted chocolate. Greens. I used some mixed greens, spinach, arugula, and just your mixed salad greens. And what you're going to do is you want to put your dried cranberries. And you're going to add your cherries. Now I did use frozen. You can use fresh if you can find them in the supermarket. You can use fresh cherries. Just make sure you pit them and just cut them in half. Then we're going to add some pecans. Now you can also toast the pecans if you like. That gives it a real nice flavor as well. I did not toast these this time. And you're going to take your melted chocolate. I need a spoon, please. Thank you. So you have your oil, your vinegar. You're going to add your melted chocolate. And then just give this a quick spin in the Ninja. So you can kind of see you have your, there's your dressing. You're just going to drizzle your dressing over your salads. Then you're going to top it with a little fresh mint. Then you can decorate it with some pear slices.
That looks beautiful, Angie. Can I interpose with a couple questions again?
Sure.
Okay, this is about the chicken recipe.
Okay.
Melissa wants to know, how much longer does the chicken cook after you added the barbecue sauce?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, you put it in there for about 10 minutes so you get a nice caramelization.
Thank you. And then Leslie wanted to know, She saw that you cooked 8 chicken thighs, but that the recipe called for 2 pounds, which is usually putting in 4 thighs for her. She said, is there any problem with how many thighs go into the oven or not?
No, no, as long as you keep a little space between them so they cook evenly. And then you can see how much sauce I have left. So the sauce recipe actually makes quite a bit of sauce.
Okay. Thank you.
So you can use the sauce you can add more after it's cooked. If you do French fries or something, you can use it as a ketchup.
That sounds delicious.
All right, so there we have our salads. So we're going to finish up with the puddings. Now what you can do with the pudding is you can either keep it simple and decorate it with just a few raspberries. So you can keep it simple with the raspberries, or you can whip cream it. And then add little shaved chocolate on top. So that gives you a nice little pretty presentation as well. So there we go. We have our puddings. We have our salads. Oh yeah, let's do your bread. And here's our breads. So this is, when it comes out of the oven, it has this nice and brown. And then you ice it. And then we're gonna ice Mary's. There's Mary's wreath. And just set it down. Look how beautiful that turned out. So then what you want to do when they come out of the oven is get your icing, give it a nice good stir. And then just let it flow. And this makes for a wonderful breakfast, especially Valentine's breakfast. You can put as much or as little icing as you like. If it was up to my family, you can never have too much icing. So there you go. Beautiful. So now we have our bread, and we have our puddings, we have our salad.
Oh, and Angie, I just want to convey to you kudos to your helper, Mary, from one of our participants, if you want to tell Mary that.
Oh, somebody says kudos to you for your help. Yes, she's a great, I could not do this without her. That is a fact. Yes, I should show.
Thank you very much.
Now we have our chicken. All nice and saucy, caramelized. So there you go. 5 beautiful dishes using chocolate. Great for an elegant dinner for 2. Thank you so much for joining us in this first Zoom cooking class. We hope you enjoyed cooking with us. We enjoyed cooking with you. I can't wait till we can cook together in the kitchen again, in the Amerind kitchen. And if you enjoyed these programs and other Amerind online programs, please consider a donation. It's the help of your donations that keeps Amerind's online programs going. So thank you very much. And if there's any more questions?
You want to chat with Lover before, you will be when you're done.
We had several comments about how hungry people are. That they're really enjoying this and live in a colder part of our country and are really enjoying this nice warm program. Everybody is very hungry. There's a question about what are chiltepines from Mary. Chiltepines are a wild ancestor to many of the varieties of chili peppers that have populated our world. They make a lovely ornamental plant. I grow them in our garden. You can usually find them dried in a lot of different grocery stores here in southern Arizona. And then there's a lot of thank yous and appreciations for all of the good work you and Mary did today.
Well, thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. And just a reminder to everybody, you will be receiving all these recipes in your email. Our Associate Curator for Public Programs, Annie Larkin, who is the technical genius behind this program, she'll be emailing those out to you within 5 hours of the end of today's program. We have also recorded this and we'll be posting this as a video to our YouTube channel. Usually takes us a couple days to get that up on the YouTube channel. So if you have the recipes and you'd like to follow along step by step while watching Chef Angie demonstrate, you'll be able to do so. Thank you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Valentine's holiday ahead of you.